Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Welcome to our 21st session of webinar series Captain of Industry, brought to you by Faculty of Engineering UTM Johor Bahru. We are initiating industry and university collaboration during Recovery Movement Set a Control Order RMCO to have a platform with our Captain of Industry to share their thoughts, way forward and challenges during post-COVID-19. Now we are streaming live from Facebook Faculty of Engineering UTM. Today we would like to welcome Yang Berbahagia Mr. Andy Seet On, Head of Transformation Southeast Asia, President Sonepar Junior Committee on Supply Chain Digital Transformation Sonepar, with his interesting topic today, Accelerating Digital Transformation in Multinational Corporation Context. Without further ado, I would like to invite Yang Berusaha Professor Dr. Engineer Dr. Muhammad Rafi Dr. Abdul Kadir, Dean Faculty of Engineering, to introduce our captain today. Over to you, Dr.
Thank you, Murni. Assalamualaikum. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to UTM Engineering Captain of Industry webinar series. My name is Muhammad Rafiq and I am the Dean of Engineering, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Today, it is my utmost pleasure to welcome Mr. Andy Seet On to our program. A bit about our presenter today. Andy Seet is a proud alumnus of Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, graduating with Bachelor of Chemical Bioprocess Engineering with honours from UTM in 2008. Since graduating, Andy had held multiple regional and cross-country roles at multinational corporations in various domains and industries. Currently, Andy is the Head of Transformation for Southeast Asia at Sonepar, an independent French multinational company with global market leadership in B2B distribution of electrical products, solutions, and related services. In his current role, he reports directly to the Global Chief Supply Chain Officer and President of Asia Pacific Region at Sonepar, with main responsibility to accelerate transformation program at various Sonepar operating companies across different countries. Andy is also currently appointed as President of Sonepar Junior Committee on Supply Chain or Digital Transformation, acting as a think tank and an empowered international network of young leaders in the company. Most recently, prior to his current role, Andy had successfully deployed 10 end-to-end ERP projects to 15 operating companies at Sonepar as the Regional ERP Project Manager. Prior to Sonepar, Andy was the Asia Pacific Regional Manager for Master Data Management MDM at Kerry Group, another multinational corporation. During his tenure at Kerry, he had the opportunity to be working in Dublin, Ireland, on international projects for European and Asia Pacific countries. Apart from his professional role, Andy is also the industrial advisor for the School of Chemical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, UTM. So that is a brief biography of our speaker. Here now is Mr. Andy Seet to give a talk entitled Accelerating Digital Transformation in the Context of Multinational Corporations. Mr. Andy Seet, over to you.
Thank you, Yang Berusaha, Professor Dato. So to all the UTM students, lecturers, staff, and the member of public who are joining us today on this live webinar, I welcome you and I thank you for the opportunity and your time. A very good morning and salam sejahtera. Today, I will be sharing with you a topic that is very close to my heart and to my current role in the corporate industry, accelerating digital transformation in the context of multinational corporations. I would first like to share a little bit context and background about the topic that I will be sharing with you today. So what is digital transformation? Digital transformation is a hype, it's a buzzword that everybody, from the management and leadership guru in the corporate world or, in the academia is actually speaking about today. So what exactly is digital transformation? And what is the multinational corporations' perspective of digital transformation? So today, I will be sharing with you about, this digital transformation from a perspective of the multinational corporation context. So let me go through with you the key objectives which I would like to share and address, with you today. The three key takeaways which I would like to address in the webinar today is to share with you what is digital transformation in the eyes of the industry sector, and also to actually share with you how can we accelerate digital transformation across multiple countries, across different work functions, departments, through an international project team. And I think, this is very important for anybody who is aspiring, especially the students who want to be in the corporate sector and want to be embracing digital transformation, want to be leading a project in digital transformation. I will also be keen to be sharing with you the key competencies that you should be equipping yourself, to be able to lead, support, or embracing digital transformation in an MNC context. So in the next 30 minutes, I would like to be sharing with you and introduce to you Sonepar, to actually share with you a context and a setting of a multinational corporations. Then I will also I'd like to share with you what is digital enterprise, perspective at Sonepar, and how we accelerate internationally digital transformation across different work functions, across different countries. And last but not least, I would also want to be sharing with you the key competencies, which I hope the students and the lecturers will be able, to share with, more people, for whoever want to aspire to be in this role in the future. So as an introductions, this is a very, beautiful picture. I think it's a pride of, Malaysians. Yeah, this is a picture of the Petronas Twin Towers. Petronas Twin Towers, as we know, was built in 1998, and it has been a pride for all of us in Malaysia. It remains still, the tallest twin towers in the world. Yeah. So to introduce Sonepar, it will be a good example or to showcase, what we do in our industry. Sonepar brand in Malaysia, called KVC, was involved in the major external lighting projects for the Petronas Twin Towers in 2012. And every night, nowadays, the Petronas Twin Towers is illuminated, in the city of KL, and everybody can see from far away, the beauty, of our Petronas Twin Towers through the work of, Sonepar brand in Malaysia, KVC, doing this. So this is an introduction about Sonepar and what do we do. Okay, so just a little bit of history. Sonepar is an independent family-owned company with a global market leadership in the business-to-business distributions of electrical products, solutions, and related services. Some of us may not know exactly about Sonepar because we are not in the B2C space, where, all the end consumers are. We are serving the professionals and consumers, in the B2B space. Yeah. So Sonepar was founded by our founder, Henry Huang, and currently is actually chaired by, our chair lady, Marie-Christine Huang. Okay, a slogan which I would like to actually kickstart our webinar today, from our founder, he believed that, what counts is what lasts. And our chair lady, Marie-Christine Huang, actually added to the slogan and say, to last, we need to adapt. And I think this is a very good introduction to our topic today, which is related to being adaptable and being able to transform in a different, digital age. So just a little bit key figures about Sonepar in 2019 as an introduction to you and to set the scene about an MNC context. So Sonepar, where I work for, is actually now operating in 48 countries, and we have more than 3,000 retail branches in all the countries that we are operating in. Plus, we also have a presence at over 1,000 customer worksites, where we support our customers in supplying the needed solutions, in whatever they are doing. We are consisted currently, the group is actually consisted of 145 operating companies, which we call them the brands of Sonepar. We process more than 1 million order lines per day, supplying and also delivering solutions, to our customers worldwide. To be able to do this, we are also, having 115 distribution centers all around the world. And last year, we were actually achieving a 24 billion euro in sales. As a people-oriented company, we have more than 48,000 associates and employees, and we are serving more than 1 million customers currently. So Sonepar, our business is to make our customers' life easier by providing a best-in-class services. So this is a cycle where we use to illustrate what Sonepar does. Sonepar, is trying to enable our customers' life easier through this cycle of customer journey. We provide channels for our customers to explore, discover, and know the latest products and solutions in the electricals and industrial world. We help them, to provide them a platform to select the products that is required by them, help them in also doing the ordering, and help them to receive their products at the customer work site. And also provide them, channels for a very seamless payments, and also provide them a very good after-sales service. To build a context about multinational corporations, this is a good, map to actually show Sonepar, and to also introduce what do we mean by a multinational corporations. So in Sonepar, we are divided in 5 regions. We originated, from France, which is still remain as one of our, big, region in France. And we have North America, which is consisted of a few countries in North America. And we have South America and Western Europe. We also have the Central Europe and Nordic, yeah. And where I come from is from the Asia Pacific, region. These are the numbers of Sonepar brands, or what we call as the operating companies. They are operating in different regions, in the Americas, in the Europe, and in the Asia Pacific. A little bit about Asia Pacific. We are now serving more than €1 billion in sales, more than 561 customer touch points with 28 different operating companies or brands. We are at 400 physical locations, and we have around 3,968 associates. And it's also, important to note, we are also, going into the digital space and domain, and now we are providing 86 different digital contacts for our customers in the Asia Pacific region. Yeah, our areas of expertise, are actually in a very wide range of different vertical markets. As we all know, electrical items or industrial items are required in all facets of our industry. So it could be in the transportation and infrastructure, it could be in the F&B industry, it could be in the hospitality and facilities management, telecommunications, automotive, constructions, manufacturing, machinery, mining, power generation and utility, water, and also oil and gas. I hope this will actually give you a little bit about, insights about what is an, multinational, corporations. These are the few suppliers, that we are engaging worldwide to provide the solutions to the end markets in the respective country that we are in. Now, I would like to share with you about the digital enterprise and how we perceive digital transformations at an MNC such as Sonepar. We usually hear all the buzzwords, in the academia and in the industry nowadays about transformations. And this is a good picture to illustrate that there's so many things that people associate digital transformation with. Yeah, we talk about cloud IT infrastructure. We talk about data analytics, the Internet of Things, which is very famous now, the cybersecurity, robotics, 5G, and artificial intelligence. Putting all these buzzwords together, sometimes we are confused. What is really digital transformations? What exactly in the industry, that we do and transform with digital? Yeah. So to give everybody a context, I would like to first, answer a question that is usually being asked, to me. People want to really know the difference between Industry 4.0 and digital transformations, because this is a very similar term and people can, tend to probably do not know the difference, right? So I would like to give a little bit, history about Industry 4.0. In fact, the term Industry 4.0 derived from, historically from, the first industrial revolution, which we actually call as the Industry 1.0. If we all recall in our history textbook, Sejarah lesson, right? Industry 1.0, the first industrial revolution, is actually derived from the mechanical production by the steam power, which is really transformed the textile industry in the 18th, hundreds, right? So the second industrial revolutions, industry 2.0, is around the 1900, where we have electricity and we have a good assembly line in the mass productions world. When we go to the industry 3.0 in the early 1970s, we have the electronics and the computers. This is what have been driving the growth of the economy and also industry for the past 30 plus years. So from the 1970s onwards, we have the computer age. And now we are at what we call as the fourth industrial revolution timeline. And this is a digital world. Everything that we talk about digital today actually means interconnectivity. It means the connections between a virtual and the real world. It also actually, give us, nowadays with the COVID-19, we especially talk about, a lot of working from home using digital platform, using, digital, ThinkTalk or Zoom, to actually work from home. So this is all about digital. But in the industry, it also means that we are also transforming our supply chain to be more interconnected, to everybody. We are talking about smart manufacturing. We're talking about digital product, services, and business model. And we're also talking a lot about data analytics. So to answer questions about the difference between Industry 4.0 and also digital transformation, I will always, go back to this definition. Industry 4.0 refers to the timeline or the era that we are currently in. Digital transformation is basically the mechanism or the strategy that the industry is employing to embrace the era that we are in. So digital transformation is always the mechanism and the strategy, while we are living in the Industry 4.0 era or age. So this is the context about Industry 4.0 and digital transformation. Now, this is how we view as Sonepar the digital enterprise. When we talk about digital enterprise at Sonepar, we want to actually term it as end-to-end digital. So we have a lot of people, thinking about digital. It means, a customer fronting externally, having a good, a web shop. We have Shopee, Lazada, or Alibaba, as a platform, for example. So there is one part of digital. And we call it as Sonepar, the digital enterprise outside. So for us, the digital enterprise outside means providing an omni-channel customer experience. And omni-channel means, it's not just one channel, and it doesn't mean multi-channel. It means that a few channels interconnected, and we provide the customers a channel where, they can actually go to the branch or use the mobile to do ordering, also go to the social media or go to our web shop. So at Sonepar, the digital outside world means that, we have the channels of branches, mobile, social, and also web shops, for them to be able to interact with us. But having digital enterprise outside only is not enough, because we have to have a good backbone to be able to support our digital outside. And having the digital inside is actually the backbone, to support this. So in the digital enterprise insight, as the perspective of Sonepar, we are having our support function, which is our IT, our supply chain, and also our commercial, the omni-channels, working in a cohesive manner. So this is what we want to build. We want to build a digital end-to-end from the inside to the outside, where things are interconnected, so that we have a good streamlined process, to ease our customers' expectations. Yeah, I will be talking a little bit more about how do we embrace and how do we deliver on these visions of a digital outside and the digital inside. Now, this is a topic which I'm very fond of. I have had the opportunity to be able to work with people from different countries in my career, and accelerating international digital transformation is a very good opportunity for you to get exposed, understand different cultures, and ensure we deliver on the project. Yeah. So this is a picture which I'm very fond of. I had the opportunity to actually attend workshops and project meetings, in our headquarters in Paris, meeting, people from different countries, right? So just now we talk about in Sonepar, we view our digital transformation as digital outside and digital inside. So in Sonepar, just to recap, we want our digital enterprise to be customer-centric, agile, and end-to-end digital. Yeah. And digital outside means customer intimacy, where digital inside means operational productivity or operational excellence. In the transformation program, which I lead and head in the Southeast Asia region of Sonepar, we mapped the requirements of digital outside, with this. So we work with the digital community across our operating companies and countries around, Southeast Asia. And what we want to achieve is to enhance our customer experience. And how do we do that? We want to digitalize our process that is fronting the customer. We provide them an omni-channel, different channel of touch point where our customers can interact with us. We provide them a business for business web shop platform, and we onboard our customers and for them to embrace digital transformation as well. So we do not just transform internally as Sonepar, but we also help our customers to be able to also embrace digital transformation. In terms of digital insight, we are working with the different back office functions or departments. So from the operations perspective, we are working with the supply chain and the customer care departments. From the back office, we are working with the finance and the HR. Again, we want to build a professional supply chain. We want to digitalize our process. From different countries, they are working in different ways of working. We want to, have them streamline the process, and also, have a common distribution center. We want to change the way how we work and ensure we have a standardized KPIs to measure, because we believe that, what is not being measured is not really being managed, right? And I think one important point, which I will be sharing with you in a more detailed case study later, is also about having a standardized system. So this will share the context about this. In multinational corporations like Sonepar, where we have, a lot of different companies working in different countries. Most often than not, we will have a different ways of working, in different countries, in the different companies. So for us to be able to embrace digital transformation as a whole, we want to be able to have a standardized system where it will enable, a visibility of what we are doing in different countries and different companies. That way, we will actually be able to accelerate our transformation. And also, we are also working, to unify our brands and entities and have a centralized shared service. Transformations is always about a journey. So our vision in the Southeast Asia transformation journey is to transform from a multiple system in multiple countries and companies to common systems, from decentralized kind of management and work processes to a shared service kind of rule, to have from local rules, to a global compliance, to manage from multi-entities and brands to unified brands, to have, different multi-warehouses, in one country to common warehouses. And what is important is from a very entrepreneurial style, to a very professional corporate, project. Yeah, that's what we do. So let me talk a little bit about digital transformation. When we are doing digital transformation projects in the multinational and corporation context, there are 4 pillars that is very important, to do digital transformation. The first pillar is people. The second pillar is the technology. And most importantly is actually the process. So these 3 pillars, comes in hand in a digital transformation project. What do we mean by that? When we are doing a project to transform our way of working in a certain department or in a country, right? What is important is for us to understand the current process, and from the current process, understand what is the pain points and the challenges, because that is where it drives the technology. We are not doing a technology, just for the sake of implementing it, and maybe at the end of the day, nobody is adopting it, right? So we go from the process to understand what is the challenges, then we go into a solutioning and propose, a technology to help, with the process pain points. But I think it's important to also not forget, the people aspect, of a digital transformation, because who will be using the process or the technology? We will be the people. So to understand the people that are coming from different cultural background and understand, their cultures and behaviors, and to be able to do the change management is very important. Across these three pillars, the people, technology, and process, what is important for us is actually data. And data has been, a very key buzzword as well in the digital transformation era, because everybody is talking about data. But what is important for us is to understand that data actually lies, from people, technology, and process. And we use data, to speak, because data will not lie. We use the data to, recommend technology and to prove that, this technology will help us improve our process. So data is very important. And how do we get the data? So this will be something that I will be sharing in my example later. Yeah. So digital transformations, 4 pillars: people, technology, process, and data. So I would like to talk a little bit now about international collaborations in the projects that we do for digital transformations. Yeah. So this is a framework which I would like to, share with our audience today, how we can inculcate collaborations across countries and work departments, and a framework for us to deliver a good digital transformation project. So we first, go in and we actually understand our process. As you remember, one of the pillar of digital transformation, we want to standardize a selected technology. The technology usually comes, in a form of, the software plus the process improvement solutions. So we want to select a standardized technology, and from there, we want to actually be able to streamline our operation process. Yeah, and this is a two very important key, role. So first, understand the process and where the pain point is. Try to use a solution, a technology to streamline an operation process. And by doing that, we are then, designing a blueprint. And when we do a blueprint, usually we say we want to do it, in a pilot. What do we mean by a pilot in the company? We mean that we want to try this process and the solution in one of the country, one of the operating company, right? And then from one of the operating company, we can then deploy the similar technology to the other countries and other regions. So usually I would like to use this map as an illustration. For example, we start by the pilots at Malaysia, and we prove the concept. We prove that it's actually helping Malaysia to improve the process. Then we will be deploying these informations to everywhere across the Southeast Asia region. And after that, we will be able to also deploy it to the other strategic operating area or the sub-regions. So this is what we do. To inculcate international collaborations, we first want to have a blueprint, pilot it, and then deploy it, to the different regions. We often talk about silos and breaking down silos. What exactly do we mean by breaking down silos? So in the digital transformation project management, one of the key aspects is people. And with people, we want to be able to help them embrace the change, which what we call as change management. So we have this jargon that we use in the companies. We call it silos. I think we use it, in many industry. So what exactly do we mean by silo? This is a very good picture to illustrate about silo. So you can see now, different departments, okay, or different countries are, working on the top of a silo where everybody have their maybe, preference of way of workings and how we do things, right? So when you have different countries or different departments working in a silo where there's lack of connectivity, synergies, and cohesiveness, it would actually be very hard to be able to adopt to a new digital technology, a new solution. So when we talk about breaking up silo, this is exactly what we mean. We want to really break the silo and have everybody talk to each other. And one of my key role in a digital transformation project is about managing the expectations of different departments and country and really understand what their pain points, bringing people together and helping them adopting and adapting to the new changes. So this is one of the key aspects I would like you to take away today about breaking down silo. I will now proceed to give you a case study. Just now, we have spent time talking about our MNC context and what digital transformation means in a MNC like Sonepar. We talk about a framework of digital transformations and how we can inculcate international collaboration, breaking down silos. And now I would like to give you one specific example. Now, we have done a lot of digital transformation example projects, in our company. I'm using an example which is probably a little bit simpler, and I think this may be an example which, even UTM may be able to adopt. So this is a case study about a solution that we employed at, Sonepar. It's called ThinkTalk. First, I would like to share a little bit of context about why do we adopt to a technology like this. So this is a recent survey. The smartphone, our mobile phone, which everybody has now remained as the most popular channel for users to access the internet. With 93.1%, based on this survey by MCMC, this is how we are actually using it to embrace digital and to get into the internet. So now, with more and more of our Malaysian population, and especially the working population, are using smartphone. So we have this technology called ThinkTalk, and ThinkTalk, just to share with you, is actually powered by Alibaba Group. The Alibaba that we all know about, which is now, one of the forerunner, in the digital world. Yeah. So ThinkTalk is a software solution powered and developed by Alibaba Group. And we are using, a developed software, among our colleagues, in Sonepar to help us, to improve a certain problem. So let me share a little bit more about ThinkTalk. Okay, so ThinkTalk, like I say, it's not a Sonepar developed program. You do not need to use, what is, developed in-house all the time. You can always embrace some solution, that is actually done and developed by the external. So ThinkTalk is powered by Alibaba. And what ThinkTalk envisions to do is to provide a platform for all-in-one mobile office. What do you mean by a mobile office? So, it incorporates, many features that, we have in a different software or apps. So, for communication purpose, for example, you can make it to do video calls, conferencing. You can also use it for messaging service, and ThinkTalk is also used, to schedule, manage your schedules, manage your calendar. And what is interesting is that ThinkTalk come with features, to have a lot of different workflow where you can automate your office, and also, to perhaps monitor and track attendance system, to also, have mobile approval and also reporting system. Now, a software like this, is actually, interesting because, it transformed or it changed how we work, at the office, especially during the COVID-19 MCO period, right? We are transforming from having to be logging in on our desk, on our laptop, to actually use our mobile, and we can actually work. Yeah. So I want to share with you a little bit about the features that we are using ThinkTalk for. For example, in terms of the attendance, this is one of the features that we can actually use on ThinkTalk. So ThinkTalk, enable you to be able to clock in and clock out, just like a normal. You have at some of the SMEs, you have the punch card, or you have the fingerprint system. So ThinkTalk, because most of us will have a smartphone, so you can actually use your smartphone and the apps of ThinkTalk on your smartphone to be able to clock in and also clock out. It also enable, for some of our associates, who are maybe offsite, to be able to also check in where, where they are. and this is to use, for offsite, kind of, a punch card, and the GPS system, which is already a technology that is very established, would actually enable to, for you to check in, where you're supposed to be for all the offsites, employees. So this is one of the features, that we use a software like ThinkTalk, to help us managing mobile office, for example. Another interesting one is that, based on the attendance that everybody is using your mobile smartphone, to clock in, the management will be able to get, a glance view of attendance and reportings. And, extracting this report will be, in just a few clicks. I think this is a very, interesting feature. Maybe, UTM, can also, think about, digitally transform our attendance, and use ThinkTalk, to also track attendance, in the classes. I think this is something that may be worth exploring. Yeah. So another features of ThinkTalk that we use at, the Sonepar is automating some of our processes using ThinkTalk. Now, I would like to take this, topic and talk to you about the 4 pillars of digital transformation. Yeah, if you remember, the 4 pillars of digital transformation is process, technology, people, and data. When we first, go into a specific process that we want to improve, we want to understand the current process. And in our corporate world, we call it the as-is process. In the as-is process, we want to look at the challenges. And the example which I'm actually sharing with you today is that, we may have challenge, in tracking of our actual delivery time, to our client, and, the proof of receipts. The current the usual traditional way of us, to have a proof of receipt by our customers of the goods being delivered at the customer work site, usually as the normal delivery order, a DO. So it's a traditional DO where, your customer sign and stamp and say, yes, I have received, But the challenge, with hard copies papers, when we go back to the office, you will have to really maybe retrieve it. You have to go through different files, to actually get the hard copy, which is actually very tedious. So these are the challenges of a as-is process. An example. Okay, and the technology we employ here is the ThinkTalk solution. So when ThinkTalk, our externals or internal drivers, they have smartphone, we install the ThinkTalk, we configure ThinkTalk, So when they go to the customer work site, the driver will capture the signed and stamped delivery orders at the customer site using ThinkTalk, and they send the record of the DOs using ThinkTalk as well. So at a glance, at the instant, our warehouse managers can run the reports of the delivery receipts, and to have the paperless record of, the receipts of our customer goods. So this will help our warehouse manager to be able to manage, this better rather than having a lot of, papers and filing. So this is an example of a process from current, we have a challenge, to be, which we are solving the challenge, using a technology, right? And do not forget, the process and technology is only one part of transformations. What we need to be able to know is identify the stakeholders, the people that are involved in this process. Now, this is a very simple example, a very, layman, process. But, remember that always there are people who are adopting to these new changes. So in this case, for this example, we have the delivery drivers, whether the internal or externally, delivery drivers. We have our customers and we have our warehouse personnel that are involved in this process. So we identify these people and we want to make sure we are able to train them to use, the new technology and to adopt and adapt, to the new process. By doing that, we need to be training them on the new process, and this is what change management will be all about. Yeah, and also remember that across the process, technology, and people is all about the data. How do we know about the current process having a problem? We do not just go talk to the people and say you have a lot of sentiments and oh, I'm not satisfied with the current process, but you want to base that on the current data. So we will have the data to support us and say, yes, we have a problem. Then how much of this solution or technology can help us to improve the problem? Then when we deploy the solution, we will have the metrics to measure how much improvement that this solution has helped to address the original problem. So all about data, and data speaks, data doesn't lie, and we use the data to communicate to the people that is on the ground working, to communicate to the management who is sponsoring the investment of the solution. So data is very, very important. So this is an example of accelerating digital transformation in an MNC of Sonepar. I hope that this example will give you an idea and insights about, how do we do this. So this example of ThinkTalk, and you can use it for different features. Yeah, ThinkTalk will have unified communication, office automation, internal, external collaboration, or open platform, for you to use. So this is an example of, tool that we use as Sonepar. Now, I would like to talk about, the key competencies for anybody who's aspire to be in the digital transformation project, for the students who may want to be in the MNC after, graduate, and what do you need, to equip yourself. So when I look at the Sonepar values, and I think that these are the values that is guiding our operations, and our business today. And I think these are the values that is also helping us to accelerate, digital transformation at Sonepar. So these are 8 values, and I want to talk them very briefly to you. One of the first value is about customer. In any digital transformation project that we do at Sonepar, and I think this would be applicable to many companies. Customer expectation is where our first and foremost priority. So anything that we do, be it in the back office, in the middle office or front office serving our customer, it's important to look back at the voice of customer and what the customer really expect from us. So in fact, at Sonepar, we do, customer surveys to understand about our customer benchmark against us, and so to understand what is the future expectation of our customer. From there, we derive our strategy on how to deliver that, through digital transformation. We also talk about one of the 4 pillars of digital transformation is the people. So the people, be it the customer or the management who are investing on the solution, be it the people who are involved in the change management and the process, it's very important to actually know the people, and understand that the people are the driver behind a successful transformation. It's not just a tool alone. And I think respect is very important, especially the context of a multinational corporation. I shared with you about how we are maybe structured in multiple countries, and remember that we are working with not just people from the same country in Malaysia. So when you're talking to colleagues from Thailand, for example, or from Singapore, or from people from Europe and Americas, we are having a different work behaviors inevitably, and we have different cultures. Right? So it's important to really have the respect elements, trying to understand where people are coming from, because it's no point going top down and say, yes, you must embrace it. But at the end of the day, on the local level, people are not really buying in, to what you want to transform. But all in all, it's important to have a passion. Passion means, you believe in transformation, you believe in the digital solution that you're bringing, to the table. So it's important to have passion as well. La reference, is actually a French word. It means to become a reference, for our customer. So I think, for digital transformation as well, we will always have to have a reference. What we do at Sonepar is not just what we think that is best for us, but we benchmark this against the industry best practice. So we have a reference about what is best, in class, for Sonepar. It's also important to look at 2 other aspects, which is the future and the profit. We talk about digital transformation in the era of Industry 4.0, and this is the future. In fact, it's already happening now. So we are embracing the future, embracing digital transformation, and looking at this, to how to improve, autonomy, the profit of our company as well. And to sum up, all the values and all the competencies, right? What is most important is the word synergy. And I shared with you about breaking down the silos. Yeah. So synergy means, having a very cohesive, harmonized, structured program to deliver the changes. And I think this is the most important value and the competency for you to be able to accelerate digital transformation. So, as a key takeaways for my sharing today, I hope that you understand the context of a multinational company, yeah, and you also understand about what the MNC like Sonepar view digital, transformation. I hope that I will be able to give you, an insights and a case study, a simple one, how that we can deliver a digital transformation, and then understand the key competencies of accelerating transformations in a multinational context. So this is I hope that this sharing has been beneficial and helpful for our audience today. This is our website of Sonepar. Feel free to visit us, and also for more information. Thank you.
Habis aku pula. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Andy, for your insightful and awesome sharing with us. Despite of your busy schedule, you are giving your precious time with us, and we are very appreciative. All right. Yes, very interesting about your topic. Okay, we might have questions from our audience, but for now, I'm quite interested about your synergy, meaning you applying the synergy concept in digitalization of MNC concept in MNC context. Okay. During post COVID-19, what is the biggest impact for MNC in supply chain, in digitalization, in your industry?
Yeah. Well, thanks, Puan Muni, for your questions. I think COVID-19, of course, has actually accelerated probably the impact or the values of digitalizations, in any corporate, industry. So in fact, during the containment measures at different countries, we call it differently in different countries, MCO in Malaysia, the circuit breaker in Singapore. What we have seen, from the lockdown, that digitalizations, had helped us, to be able to continue our business. So we talk about continuity, which is very important, and the digitalized tool like ThinkTalk, or having our Microsoft team to be able for us to still connect. That is very important. In fact, globally, as one of the committee that I work for, we work with our key supplier on a weekly basis to tell them about the demand, because the demand could be from a supply chain perspective be increasing very much post COVID, or declining during the lockdown period. So we communicate through the digital system to system kind of communication, to be able to actually understand what is happening across different countries. Without these kind of solutions, sometimes we are in a silo again. We only know what is happening in one country. But with a digital solution, we are able to understand what is happening across the region and across the globe for us.
Yeah, okay. Everything must be, blessing in disguise. Okay,
Yeah.
Right. The question from Muhammad Anwar Hussein. How digital transformation is helpful for digital supply chain in IR 4.0? Respected speaker.
No problem. Well, thank you, Anwar, for your questions. Digital transformation, like I say, is a buzzword. It's a very broad term, can be used, from office administration, the case study that I use, using ThinkTalk, to, a supply chain, which is broader sense. So from supply chain perspective, you have the supplier, then, maybe Sonepar is in the middle, as the distributor, and then we have the customer. So having digital transformation means, we are now, more interconnected than ever. And having the digital solution means that our information flows from the customer's expectation to the suppliers in a better manner. Previously, we rely on a lot of manuals, reportings. You have to churn out a report. For a long time, before it gets to our supplier. Now having a digital solution means that the information flow faster. But again, going back is that the synergy as well. So we need everybody to be part of the digital transformation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Andy, for your response. And the next questions coming from our audience from Muhammad Iqbal Tariq. Dear Andy, thank you for sharing. Besides digital skills, any other skills for students to master in order to survive, especially during this pandemic?
Yeah, I believe, as a students, maybe one of the key, skill that we want to have is about leadership. And leadership, doesn't mean it's only on project management. It also mean that, to be able to adapt to different scenario, especially with the pandemic currently. Sometimes we think is uncertain. But especially when we have a good project management and leadership skills, you are able to be adaptable, to any uncertainties. So I think leadership will be very important. I want to share a little bit about my experience as a student of UTM as well. So when I was at UTM, I was involved, and fortunately, I had the opportunity to be involved in a lot of leadership programs and activities, extracurricular. So I think this is where this will actually help us, when you step out to the corporate world. And this kind of leadership, will actually enable you to accelerate your career as well.
Okay, nice, Mr. Andy. Yes, I do agree with you that during our study time, when we're joining all this extracurricular activity, is develop ourselves. All right. Okay. There are no more questions from audience so far. Thank you again, Mr. Andy, and thank you for your audience today. Thank you. We are always appreciate. It's pleasure for us for having our large number of viewers for our webinar Captain of Industry with Mr. Andy today. Please wait to our upcoming webinar with our next Captain of Industry in future. Please activate your get reminder on your Facebook for our upcoming webinar. And I'll pass back to Dr. Rafiq for his last few words and also closing remarks for today. Over to you, Dato.
Thank you, Murni, for chairing the session, and also thank you to Andy. Welcome back to UTM. Yeah, as a proud alumnus of the Faculty of Chemical Engineering back then. You talk about digital transformation, you talk about breaking the silos, you talk about synergy. So it's a good thing that UTM 2 years ago, so we implemented, we synergized all our engineering faculty. And then on top of those 5 engineering disciplines, we have Faculty of Computing also, now in Faculty of Engineering. So it is all about digital transformation. We want to transform all our engineering disciplines digitally. So we want to prepare our students for not the 4th industrial revolution. We are preparing our students for the next industrial revolution, maybe the 5th or maybe the 6th industrial revolution. So your topic about digital transformation is very relevant today. Thank you so much, Andy, for your sharing session. A lot of interesting things that you share with very nice pictures. Really love to see all those slides again. And to all our viewers around the globe, thank you for watching UTM Engineering Captain of Industry. Until next time, bye for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.